Hello students, how are you? Today we are going to learn some more points on circuit breakers. Today's topic is very interesting and important, also the basic things regarding how the arc is quenched, what are the different methods for quenching arc. So let us introduce myself. My name is Dr. C.H. Adaya, Senior Lecturer in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Husnabad. Today topic regarding to Diploma 5th semester, Fine Art 4A, the switchgear and protection subject, the second lesson. Now let us see what we have seen previous classes. We have seen in previous classes switchgear and protection equipments such as LV voltages. We have seen the simple switch which is used in our domestic houses. For medium industries, we have seen different type of the MCBs, MCCBs, EL, RCCBs. These are the switches. At the same time, we have seen protective equipments also. KitKat fuse for our domestic purpose. For industry purpose, we have seen LV and HV, high rupture capacity fuse. And at the same time, for tripping or closing of any electrical equipment from live, we have seen air brake switch for 11 kV substation, load brake switch for industrial applications where voltage is less but current capacity is nearly 1600 amperes, and isolators in a substations. And coming to the main important switch is the circuit breaker. What is a circuit breaker? What are the classification of the circuit breaker? We have seen. At the same time, in last session, we have seen what is the phenomenon of arc, how the arc is raised during closing and opening up electrical contacts. At the same time, we have seen different type of the applications of circuit breakers based on its categories. Now today our aim is to learn how to quench arc in circuit breakers, whether it may be vacuum circuit breaker, SF circuit breaker, air blast circuit breaker. So what are the theories? First we have know. After that we are going to practical breakers, how they are practically construction and operation. Today, so theoretically how we are going to quench the arc in circuit breakers. Now what we have seen last class? In last class we have seen working model of circuit breaker, how the circuit breaker operates, a single line diagram. Here once again recollect what we have seen. Here is a one simple circuit, has the fixed contact and moving contact, and moving contact can be operated by gear and lever mechanism. To assist the mechanical mechanism, we are going to use the electrical system, that is the trip circuit, for tricky finding of any unwanted abnormal conditions in the system. Here the mechanism and trip coil also we will see later details. Now what is happening? A simple circuit you can see. Here when the closed part is opened by the mechanical lever and gear mechanism, the gap between the two electrodes increased. Previously, before opening up the moving contact, the fixed contact and moving contact overlap each other. Contact area between the two contacts is more. Once signal is given to the mechanism, the moving contact move towards right side, then the contact area go on decreasing. Once they go on decreasing, the current flowing through the contacts go on increased its current density at 2 points. Once the contact area decreases, the current density increases, and this may create a higher amount of heat energy at the two contacts. Once the small air gap before elongation of moving contact, that gap creates a large voltage between the two electrodes. That voltage may dielectric strength of the whatever the media between the two contacts broken, and if the dielectric strength fails broken, then that media becomes the ionized path. The ionized gas is nothing but a flexible conductor through which electrons will try to flow. For example, there is air. Under normal condition, when we know the dielectric strength of the air 30 kV per centimeter square, 1 centimeter gap below 30 kV, we act as a insulator, air as an insulator. Once the voltage increased beyond the 30 kV, the air 1 centimeter act as a flexible conductor. Now in this case also, the small gap between the fixed and moving electrode, the whatever the air present between as a insulating media before that one, now it acts as a ionized path. The ionized gas is nothing but it is electrons and protons, electrons and ions. These are the electrons generally we have seen. Now these electrons will try to flow through ionized gas. Then arc may sustain due to the what will happen whenever the current density increases, this normal flow of electrons will try to flow through this air gap, that is the ionized path. There is a collision takes place between the whatever the ion media particles and these electrons. Collision takes place, heat will develop, that heat will appear as the arc. This arc has a high temperature that can melt the tips of the two electrodes. You can see the two tips becomes the black color in this case. That means they becomes carbonized. So if it operated continuously, what will happen? So gap between the male and female contact increases. If any gap between this and under normal condition also, there is a possible to arc develops. That is we don't want that thing of operation. So this already we have seen last class. This is a basic idea of how the circuit breaker operates. Now you can see here. So what we have seen, the responsible for factor responsible for maintaining the arc. Once the arc is developed due to the separation of moving contact, once we chop the current carrying conductor, then what will happen? The arc is raised between the two contacts. This arc sustained for few cycles. what are the factors to sustain the arc? So the factors are mainly the potential difference between contacts. So when the contacts have a small separation, then the potential difference between them is sufficient to maintain the arc, because that voltage is a very high. That voltage will break down the dielectric strength of the media between the two electrodes. Once dielectric strength is broken, it acts as a conductors. Then what is the next one? The ionized particles between the contacts. One is the voltage present between the two electrodes, high voltage presence between the two electrodes. Another is the once ionized particles contained in between the two electrodes, through which electrons will try to flow. If there is no ionized particles in between, there is no arc, but the ionized particles in between the electrodes. So the ionized particles between the contacts, act as a charge carriers and offers conducting path to our normal current. So these are the factors responsible for continuous arcing between the two electrodes. Now what are the remedy? So here there are the two ways to extinguish the arc between the contacts. So these are the two problems. What are the remedies? We have to avoid this thing. That is the solution. Now what is the solution? To separate the contacts to a distance that potential difference becomes insufficient to maintain the arc. So once the male and female contacts are fixed and moving contacts are separated a very large distance, then the voltage which is persist between the electrodes may not maintain the arc for further cycles. That is the one thing. But however, this method is impossible in case of higher voltage, where a separation of many meters may be required. Next, otherwise, so we have to go for the next option. What is the next option? To extinguish the arc between the contact may achieved by cooling the arc by removing the arc particles from the space between the contacts. So this is a thing we are going to do in our breakers. That means here whatever the arc between the contacts may achieved by cooling the arc. So once the arc is cooled, it loses its temperature. As we know that any arc persists for time, it requires some fuel materials, it requires some air, it requires a required temperature. From 3, any one if you are taken out, automatically the arc will catch. So general example, when you are using the candle in case of birthday, what happen? So if you are puffing the candle, what will happen? The flame lengthened to some extent. Once the flame lengthened, then it will cools by atmospheric air particles. Once it's cooled, that there is the wax in the candle, it contains the wax, but what will happen? You are forced the puffing you are lengthening the flame, then automatically temperature in the flame reduces to a below the flaming temperature, then automatically the candle will shut down. Now, so coming to so in this case, to extinguish the arc between the contact may be achieved by cooling the arc by removing the arc particles from the space between the contacts. How we are going to remove that particles who are encouraging the arc? That fellows should be removed. So that is already I have said. And the based of these principles, now we are going to learn what are the methods to extinguish the arc. Now today our objective is, on completion of this topic, you would be able to know that the method of arc extinction, the high resistance method and low resistance method, or we can say this is the zero current resistance method. These two methods are generally employed in any circuit breakers in our power system. Let us see what do you mean by the high resistance method, what do you mean by the low resistance method. As an electrical student, we should know the resistance always opposed to the current. Once the current is passing through the ionized path, the arc may contain. If that arc has arc is nothing but is a flexible conductor. We know that every conductor has its own resistance. Now, if this arc resistance, if you are going to increase by any method, then automatically current will reduce. If the current reduces, there is no heat generation, then arc will change in next cycles. This is a basic aim of our circuit breakers. Now let us see what is happened in high resistance method, what is happening in low resistance method. Let us see clearly with help of diagrams. Now let us see the method of arc extinction. There are two methods of extinguishing the arc in the circuit breaker. One is the high resistance method, another is the low resistance method. So here the high resistance method, before that one methods, once again you can see, here you can see this is the one. Now you can see here the figure clarity. Now what is happening here? Relay and breaker operation. So similar to the previous circuit. In this case, what is happening? Here the current is coming this direction, and here is the two instrument transformers I placed, CT and PT, and whatever the current in the circuit is sensed by the CT, whatever the voltage in the line sensed by the PT. Now after that it is coming to our breaker, circuit breaker. Here is our main hero. Now this circuit breaker mechanism is operated by our electrical system. You can see here this mechanical system is operated by our electrical system. So mechanically it is a strong, it open, close the circuit. During this period there is a number of the forces developed. That forces can withstand by this breaker. But how to this can detect whether it is under normal condition or it may be faulty condition. So that can be identified by our electrical systems. So then next it is coming to the here whatever this one. Now under normal conditions, if there is no fault in the system, load, there is no short circuit, whatever the current enters, comes, it will go, simply will go. During this period, whatever the CT and PT will gives to the relay coil here, relay will analysis what is the electrical characteristics in the line. These electrical characteristics is maybe under predetermined values or they are violating. If it is violated, or they are within tolerance values or not. If any tolerance values violated by these characteristics, then automatically the signal given to the trip contact, that is the mechanism of circuit breaker. Here the circuit breaker, the mechanism, it may be operated by a deformed spring or compressed air or hydraulic pressure. So that can be operated by these mechanical movements. Here, so due to this thing, so it is given to this mechanism. Once it is excited from our electrical circuit, then breaker will operate. Now let us assume under normal condition what is happening, whatever the, so there is no problem here. So current is called I, current is flowing. Then so CT PT will gives the okay, this is the rated voltage and rated current. Then our trip coil, what will happen? Whatever the current flowing through the trip coil, that will develops its magnetic field, some flux. That flux is unable to pull the trip contacts upper side, because we such a way that we provided the spring connection to the trip contacts. So till the trip contact is open, till the contacts are closed, so what will happen? Circuit is not closed. Now this circuit is not open due to the trip contacts are open. the trip contactors are open due to the unable to a trip coil to pull upward, is a plunger type. So here the less amount of the current is coming, rated current is coming. This rated current is unable to pull the trip contacts upside. So it is circuit is open. This is the open. Once it's open, whatever the DC supply is not given to the this mechanism. So that mechanism, it has some motor. So that motor be operated by the deformed spring charge or compressed air or hydraulic pressure, different methods to charge the spring. So now there is no signal is given to the breaker. So breaker will not operate, and what are the status, that will on the same status. Now let us assume this is a closed position. Then whatever the current entering, that is coming here going to the load. This is under normal condition. If suppose here the load is suppose in this case what is happening here, it is short circuit occurred, some fallen on the ground. Now instead of I current, here the current is increased to the very high value, more current. Then once the current increases, the voltage decreases, current increases. Now the voltage value and current value changed. This can be identified by our two intelligent fellows, the CTPT. So same thing is given to the relay coil. Once relay coil detects this thing, it will give the signal to the breaker. So what is happening here? Now once the current is here coming, so this current is more than the rated current. Previous cases, more rated current is unable to pull the trip contacts upward. Now what will happen? Now this current is easily pull the trip contacts upper side. How? So whenever the current is coming more, so N into I. Now the flux developed in the coil is more. That is easily pull the contacts upper side. Then this lever comes upper side, then the two contacts are closed by this metal part. Then what will happen? Now this battery come in picture. Once circuit is closed, the current is passing through this mechanism. Then once mechanism operated, then breaker will simply open. This will come this direction. Then whatever the current is coming here is stopped here. Once it is stopped, there is a spark may be occurred. So this spark, this arc is quenched. This arc can be nullified by these methods. What are the methods? High resistance method and low resistance method. These methods are we are going to learn in this session. This is a basic aim of our class today. So once the problem is rectified here, no problem, then what will happen? It restore to the normal condition. Then once again voltage is a normal condition, current is a normal condition, whatever the flux is developed is unable to pull this one, circuit is open condition, breaker is not operated. Then it is continuous process. So you have the one doubt. After opening the circuit breaker, even the fault is here. So how it will close? So if the fault is sustained for that time, then breaker will not operate, because if the fault is contained in the line, it is continuously sends the fault current. So it may not give the this mal operation. It always open. After clearance of the fault, then what will happen? It reset the relay coil by manually by operator. Then what will happen after resetting the relay? So trip contacts comes to the downside, and there is no mechanism here. So you have to manually by operator, or from control room we can give the signal to the breaker. It will close the breaker. Then current is restored to the normal position. This is a basic operation of circuit breaker in our power system. I think you have some idea. Under normal, once again I will come to explain, under normal condition, whatever the current, rated current comes, the CT and PT will give the normal values, then flux developed is the normal value, then is unable to pull the contacts upper side, then the circuit is open, then no signal to the breaker, breaker will not operate, and breaker will under closed condition only. So it is continuous all over the supply. Next case, if the fault occurred any system here, anywhere, fault occurs anywhere, then the current, the PT value, voltage value decreases, current value increases. That will give to the here, once current is increased through flowing through the strip coil, then more flux is developed. That flux tried to pull the trip contacts upside, the circuit is come in picture, the DC supply flowing through this mechanism, the mechanism operate, it will comes to the this side and breaker will open, so shut down the supply here, no supply to the earth point. This is a fault point, that is a thing. After restoring the fault, identification the fault or restoring the everything is clear, then what will happen? Once again the operator so reset the trip contacts, open the trip contacts, then manually close the breaker, the breaker will close. So this is a breaker mechanism generally used in our distribution system as well as the power system. This thing you should know. Now coming to our topic, so how we are going to, so here what is happening? So whenever the opening, whenever the closing the circuit, there is a possible to arc is coming, arc is coming. How we are going to nullify this arc, how we are going to reduce the arc? So that is going to do in this method. So this can be done by two methods, one the high resistance method, another is the high resistance method, and next one is the low resistance method. What is happening in high resistance method, what is happening in low resistance method, we can see. Now let us go. Now this is the high resistance method. In this case what is happening? In this method the arc resistance is increased gradually so that the current is reduced to such a value that heat is insufficient to maintain the arc. So what is happening? Under this is the current is flowing. So here is the arc is developed, arc is developed here. So the current is, now what is happening? Once this arc has some amount of the resistance, because this is a flexible conductor. If this resistance of this arc is increases, then current value decreases. Once the current value decreases, the heat developed also decreases. Once heat developed also decreases, there may not be the arc presence, because once the minimum temperature is required to maintain the arc. If the temperature is below the arc temperature, then it will nullify. That is the principle in this high resistance method. I think you understood. Once separation takes place, the arc is presented, the arc has its some resistance value. If by using the different methods, if you are going to increase this arc resistance value in ohms, then current will decrease in amps. If current decreases, the I square RT by J, heat will develop less. If the heat is less, then the temperature which is to be ignite the arc is reduces, then unable to maintain the arc. So this can be done in this high resistance method. So how we are going to do that things? How we are going to increase the arc resistance in ohms? So this we have the some few methods. So what are the methods? These methods are, the resistance of arc may be increased. Here the arc having the some resistance, here this is the resistance, this is the arc has some resistance. So this can be increased by, one is the lengthening of the arc, whatever the arc is developed here. So here startingly the arc is developed here, Now instead of this arc, if you lengthen it, what will happen? By lengthening the arc. So because we know that R is equal to rho L by A, already we have seen. Now increasing the length, then resistance value increases. By decreasing the area of the cross section, this value increases. By providing the deionized gas, then resistance increases. So these three methods are employed in this method. Or in addition to that, so we are going to do another is the cooling of the arc. What is happening here? So once this is the initial arc, this arc is having the, what is happening? This is the thickness of the arc. Now this is the thickness of the arc. Instead of this thickness of the short arc, the area is more here. Area length is less. Now instead of this one, so we are going to elongate this arc here in this much. So what is happening? Once it is lengthened, automatically area of the contact with the other low temperature particles is more. Then automatically it lost the temperature from the arc. That is the second point. By lengthening, so we are going to get automatically cooling takes place. Next, coming to the another one is reducing the cross section area of the arc. Once what is happened? Once instead of this arc, this one, so we are increased the length from the first one. Then if increased area of the contact increases, then this is also we got it. Once, so instead of this much of the thickness area of the cross section, this much of the area, now this area is very less. This is also we got it by simple lengthening. Next, instead of this straight, another method, suppose if you are using, so method is a splitting of the arc. So this arc is this one, splitting of the arc. So what is happening? Now instead of placing this arc here, now so here lengthened, not only lengthened, then what is happening? You are going to split it. You are going to split it. So what is happening? Now lengthened, splitted. What is happening? Here the air enters, the cooling. Here is a cooling. Here is a cooling. Here is a cooling. Here is a cooling. So what is happening? So by lengthening and splitting, splitted the number of parts. It is entered into the normal. So if you are seeing the LT, so MCB generally used in our domestic MCB. So what is happening in MCB? So arc can be entered into the shooters, some metal shooters. So what is the arc here? So some arc is entered here, some arc is entered here, some arc is entered here. Then what is the splitted into the narrow places. Then so then it whatever the heat is present in the arc is absorbed by this metallic shooters. Then automatically cools. So this all total done by these methods. So if you interested, I will show you one MCB how they will work. What is the inside? So these are the high resistance methods used to increase the arc resistance in between two contacts. So let us see one by one in details how we are going to practically doing and what is happened by doing this one. Now you can see, so resistance of arc may be increased by lengthening of the arc. Now so what you have seen already, so here is this one rod, this a fixed rod, this is a moving rod, and this is the chamber in which, so once it is separated, there is a arc is present. Now due to this one, what will, as the length of an arc increases, next figure you can see here, once length, now instead of this arc, this small arc, now length of the arc is increased. As the length of arc increases, the arc resistance also increased. The length of the arc can be increased by increasing the gap between the contacts. How we are going to increase the length? Then, so if you are moving the small away from this one fixed contact, so we are going to increase the gap between the two rods. If the gap between the two rods is less length of the arc. If the more length between the two electrodes, then more the arc may be lengthened. That can be done by withdrawing the moving contact very long. So once it is the lengthened, it is the automatically, so weaken the weak, it will take place weak arc that may be quenched at any time. That is the one thing. Next, coming to the second one, cooling of the arc. Now due to the density of arc, here is a less cooling. So contact area of the medium particles is less. So then if you want to the increases cooling help in deionization of the medium between the electrodes. So once it is cooled, the ionized particle becomes to deionization. So deionization means nothing but it is a insulator. Ionized particle is a flexible conductor and deionized particle as a insulator. So once if you are cooled the media between the arc, then automatically, so whatever the particles combine into the neutral molecules. Once neutral molecules are inactive to participate in this reaction. So first during the process, so we forcefully made electrons and ions during the arcing period. Once these active particles, electrons and these ions recombine into the molecules, neutral molecules, then there is no active particles. Due to this one, there is no arc presence. That's why we are going to cool the arc. Once it is cools, it deionization of the medium between the contacts. So next, so you can see the figure. So by lengthening this one and the high cooling takes place. This increases the arc resistance and remove the heat from the arc. Once it is lengthened, then we are going to get the more cool. So area of the contact increases. Once cools, the deionization takes place between the two electrodes. That is avoids the flow of electrons through it. Then third method is the reducing cross sectional area of arc. Now A. So we have seen the first part, second part and third part. A cross section of that one. Here the A of this one. So A of the arc is this much, A1. Now after that we are going to this another one. So here the A is the here A1 arc, area of the cross section of this one. Now A2 area of the cross section. So here area of the cross section is less. So by reducing the cross section of the arc, the voltage necessary to maintain the arc is increased. Whatever the voltage present in between the two electrodes is limited. If you are going to lengthen the area of the cross section of the arc is less, we require the more amount of the voltage to maintain the arc. Once you are reduces, the voltage is insufficient to maintain the arc. This is the thing you have to remember. Now you can see the another one. So this can done by the following: the arc pass through the smaller area compared to the wider area. So by using the shooters, so it is allowed smaller areas compared to the wide area. So it becomes a smaller areas, then automatically area of the cross section of the arc reduces. If arc reduces its cross section, we require the large amount of the voltage required to maintain the arc. So the voltage may not be available that much to maintain this one. So then automatically the arc will quench. This is another idea. After that we are going to the next method is the splitting of the arc. So as we know that the splitting, so what the resistance of the arc can be increased by splitting the arc into a number of arc in series. So one by one we are connected in series. So that can be done by, you can see here. So this may be split by introducing some connecting plates between the contacts of the circuit breakers, just like in the MCBs. By splitting this one, so what is happening? The splitting the arc into a number of arc series. So this one's arc, this one arc, this one arc. So it becomes to the arc split. Once it is splitted, it contact the metal plates are placed in between the arc. So whatever the arc enters into the metal plates in a tubes, then whatever the heat presence in the arc is absorbed by the metal plates. The metal cooling plates automatically cools quickly. Then once the temperature reduces, it automatically comes to the normal position. Now, so these are the 4 methods we have seen. What are the 4 methods? So now in this case, first one is the lengthening, second one is the cooling, third one is the reducing cross sectional area of the arc, and fourth one is the splitting the arc. These 4 methods are generally used in high resistance method. So this is a very good simple end operation, but it has one disadvantages. Disadvantage of the high resistance method. What is that one? In this method, very high energy is dissipated in the arc. So energy, whatever the energy in the form of arc is simply wasted, dissipated. So that is don't want. So it is employed only in DC circuit breaker and low capacity AC circuits. Hence, we can use this type of the methods only in AC low circuit system, and DC breakers we can use. These are the disadvantages. Then coming to the another method is the low resistance method or zero current method. Now what is that one? So this method is applicable only in AC circuit breaker because AC has a natural zero of current. So because there is AC, in case of the DC, there is no frequency, there is no positive vehicle, there is no positive cycle, negative cycle. It's always in a positive direction. It's a constant independent of the time. Whereas the AC, it changes every second, the 100 times positive cycle, negative cycles. So there is a possible to get a zero crossing for a 1 second of Indian frequency 100 times we are going to get it. That's why if you are incidentally accidentally touches the AC, we are going to escape from electrical shock. But in case of the DC, we may not be escaped because always current will flows continuously through our body. So you can see the one figure here. So this is the amperes, positive wave, negative wave, positive wave, continuous. It is a 50 cycles per second. Now you can see the each cycle, positive cycle, negative cycle, consists of 2 zero crossing points. So these zero crossing points can be used for quenching purpose. At that time we are going to open the contacts. The current at the zero crossing is 0. So if there is no current through the arcing path, the arc, so how will develop the temperature? If there is no temperature, automatically it quenches itself. That is we are going to employ in AC circuits. Let us see in details how we are going to implement this thing in this one. Now in this method, the arc resistance is kept low until the current magnitude becomes 0, natural 0, because at every current 0 arc extinguishes for a short period. So in this what is happening here? So if you are keeping we have some arc resistance. This is the arc resistance. If you are keeping the arc resistance low, the current will increase more and more. If the current increases, that has to come to this point always, because natural 0 point. It has to come till we have to wait it. The natural 0, it has to come in AC. So once it reaches to the our 0 point, then we are ready to open the circuit breaker. That is the thing. So in this method, arc resistance is kept low until the current magnitude becomes 0. So we have to keep it so it comes to the 0 position, because at every current 0, arc extinguishes for a short period. At this condition, what is it will take the rest at this point. There is no current, there is no arc. At that condition, the current take the rest for a while, for a seconds or microseconds, short period. So this period we have to utilize to nullify that thing, because under normal condition the current is flowing in the positive cycle, it is go on increasing. After that maximum value, it has to comes to the go on decreasing, it has to 0. At 0 position we have to wait it. So it once it is crossing the 0 position, it will wait for few microseconds. That duration we have to utilize to nullify it, to quench it. As the medium, whether air or oil, between the contacts contain the ionized particles, so it has a smaller dielectric strength. So once what is happening, once this contact and this contact is opened, so already there is a arc is developed. So arc contains is a ionized path. The ionized particles, the medium having the very less, very weak dielectric strength. Dielectric strength automatically it is a very weak. Now it is unable to resist the flow of electrons. So therefore the ionized air can easily break down the contact voltage, and arc will persist for another half cycle. So what will happen, this whatever the air or oil present in between this one during this thing period, that has a very less dielectric strength, it cannot unable to oppose the flow of current. So due to that one, the current passes through this low dielectric strength materials. At the same time, the low dielectric strength material break down by whatever the voltage raised between the two electrodes. That increases the arc further cycles. You can see now. So therefore the ionized air can easily break down by the contact voltage, and the arc will persist another half cycle. So this is the main thing. Now we can see here at 0 time, we can see here at 0 crossing time, the voltage presence at this arc is known as the restriking voltage. At once the current is coming to its heart, its native place, at that time what is the voltage across the two electrodes is known as the restriking voltage. If this restriking voltage is enough to break down the unionized particles in if any, so once again it will continue the arc once again. So the voltage that appear across the contacts at current 0 during arc period is called a restriking voltage. So you should know this one. So now you have some idea restriking voltage. Already we have seen restriking voltage, recovery voltage, normal voltage, and arc voltage also. Now so what, let us see the zero current method. What we are doing in zero current method, we can use the following theories for quenching the arc. These are the reasons. Once it is coming to the 0 position, at there is a restriking voltage. Now we have to nullify. At this condition, we are going at 0 point, we are going to do some works. What are the works we are going to do? Let us see. So in zero current method, we can use the following theories for quench the arc. What are the methods? One is a recovery method, another is a energy balance theorem. Two theories are we generally using for zero current method. What is the recovery theory? What is the energy balance theorem. Let us see. So here the recovery theorem is an arc is column of ionized gas. Yes, the arc is a column of ionized gas through which electrons also easily flows. Here the ionized gas consists of electrons. What is consist ionized gas? Ionized gas consists of electrons and ions. If we recombine the charged particles, these electrons and ions into a neutral molecules. Here the neutral molecule, if you are shifted this one converted to the neutral molecules, then there is no media for arc. So this thing we are going to do. Now if we allow a fresh insulating medium, so whatever the insulation present between the electrodes, already it is ionized, it is already converted, it is unable to oppose any opposed to voltage or this current. Now instead of this diseased ionized particles, if you are allowing the fresh deionized gas, fresh gas, if you allowed between the two electrodes, if you allow the fresh insulating media in place of ionized particles, then no further persist of arc. Then the new force, the central force comes and they will oppose this current and as well as restriking up some more voltages. That means here rate of removal of ionized gas should be greater than the formation of ionized gas. So what is happening here? Once the voltage is raised between the rate of rise of recurring voltage, so once the voltage is raised, that voltage try to ionize the particles in between the two electrodes. If this rate of formation of ionized particles is less as compared to the we are injecting deionized particles more, then automatically arc may not be quenched. That means rate of removal of ionized, whatever the ionized particles diseased person is there, we have to remove it, then we have to allow the fresh persons, that the system will work properly. The rate of removal of ionized gas should be greater than the formation of ionized gas particle. So in this case, the rate of removal of gas should be greater than the rate of formation of ionized part. That means here whatever the ionized particles that should be removed with help of with replacement of deionized gas particle. If deionized gas particle is coming very fastly comparing to the ionization process of particle, then arc may not be arc will quench. You can see here this is a one diagram. Here RRV, rate of removal of the rate of rise of voltage, that is the rate of removal of voltage of the particles. Whatever the particles try to ionization takes place, the media, that should be greater compared to the deionized gas. So here deionized gas is less compare voltage, whereas rate of rise of voltage is more, then automatically that is a dominate, the always arc is persist for the next cycles. So here we can take the one example. Suppose here is the one canal is going on. If some places damaged, now water is coming the very forcefully, then how to repair it? If a repair work speed is very greater than the flow of water, then automatically the damage will recover immediately. Otherwise, if the flow of water is very high, you are doing the work very slow, is continuous for next time. Similarly, here also whatever our aim is to whatever the ionized particles in between the electrodes, the rate of ionized particles removal should be greater than rate of entering of the deionized particles. That large amount of the deionized particles persist in between the electrodes, then there is no arc will come. That is the one thing. That means here the work should be, the work speed should be greater than the water speed. Then the whatever the damaged path we can recover immediately. So deionized gas, the rate of deionized gas should be greater than the rate of rise of voltage of the particles. So this is the one thing. Next, coming to the at current energy balance theorem. What is the energy balance theorem? So at here, at current 0 point, same place, at arc extinction point, there may be a higher heat develops. Yes, automatically at arc extinction point, there may be a higher heat develops. Due to the arc itself is a very high temperature. Due to the high temperature is a continuous further time. So if the rate of heat generation should be less than the rate of cooling particles, if you allows some outside particles into the media which can cools, that should be greater than the whatever the temperature raising inside that one, automatically arc will quench. That means here we are going to cooling rate is greater than the heating temperature raising. So hence the arc will quench. Here you can see same thing. So whatever the heat is developed in this rate of rise of heat is greater than the rate of cooling, hence the arc is persist for some time. Here you can see. So if the rate of heat generation should be less than the rate of the cooling gas particles, then arc will quench. So in this case, what is happening here? A rate of rise of temperature is more and cooling is less, then arc will continue. But next case, in this case, what is happening? In this case, what is happening? This is a rate of rising. In this case, what is this one? This automatically this value comes to here, this much only. This value is this one. So green value increases. That means whatever the cooling you are going to do is greater than the heat producing. Here heat producing is greater than the cooling. In this case, cooling is greater than the rate of cooling is more rate of heat generation. In this case, a rate of heat generation is more rate of cooling. So here arc is persist, here arc is quenched. So this process is we are going to adapt in this method. Okay, I think you have some idea. Now coming to so how once again you can see how whenever the restriking, what is the restriking voltage, recovery voltage, current 0 instant, fault current and system voltage takes place during the tripping time. You can see this one. You can get some idea. Now here, so you can see here this one, the system voltage. This is the system voltage. Now this is at that instant the fault occurred in the system. Due to the fault current is following the system voltage till 0 crossing period. Once you are going to, there is a media that will try to nullify that thing, but before that one, so once it is a current 0 instant, the voltage is gets in the spikes, that is a transient period. In this case, once it is opened, the voltage transient period, the current becomes the voltage here, restriking voltage. Once the restriking voltage, this values are very, very high. After few cycles, then it comes to the normal here, the voltage, that is known as the recovery voltage. So these terms you should know. At the same time, so this also we have seen already. This is the same thing, but in addition to that one, here the arc, here we can see this is the current 0 instant. We are going to get this is a arc voltage. This blue is the arc voltage. How the voltage? What is the voltage present? What is the arc is present between the two electrodes? It has this much of the voltages. This voltage is a positive and negative. You can see the direction is changing similar to the AC. Here green one is the short circuit current. The short circuit current is a very high. You can see it. So this is the restriking voltage and transient period at this condition. So these are the one thing you have to remember. Now coming to our zero current method. At every current 0, the arc is extinguished for a short period. So already we know that at some nap it will takes at 0. At the dose we have to increase the dielectric strength of the media. When it is a relax, just like it is a tortoise and rabbit story. Once the rabbit takes some dose or snap or sleeping, then whatever the tortoise continuous will go and win the race. Similarly here, once the fault current coming to the 0 position, it will take some snap, dose or nap. During this period we have to do something to nullify the arc. So within this period, the duration, dose period, if the dielectric strength of the medium between the contact is increases to such a value that the voltage across the contact become insufficient to break down the space between the contacts. Whatever the voltage arised between the contacts, unable to ionize the particles between the two contacts at that condition, such a way that we have to allow the medium between the electrodes at the instant of 0 position, at the instant of breaking time. Then the arc fails to restrike and the current will interrupt. Automatically current will interrupt. This is a thing. So at the time of the 0 crossing, when the fault current comes to the 0 position, at this condition we are going to allow some extra cooling media, the high dielectric media from outside allows between the two electrodes. So this dielectric strength of the fresh media unable to ionized due to the whatever the voltage raised between the two electrodes. Then automatically, if it is not ionized, the electrons will not try to flow through this one, then arc will quench automatically. This is the thing you have to remember. Now how we are going to do this thing? But the major challenge is to increase the dielectric strength of medium near current 0 here. So whenever it is asleep, at that condition we have to do. How we are going to do it? How to achieve it? So there are the two ways to achieve this. One is the causing the ionized particles in the space between the contacts to recombine into the nucleus molecules. What are the active particles, electrons and ions, that should be converted into the neutral molecules. Once there is an active persons, automatically that will suppressed. That is the thing. Next one. So sweeping the ionized, if the particles are, so if we are forcefully we converted electrons and ions into the active ions into the neutral molecules, that is the neutrals unable to activate in the participation of this journey or this work. That is the one thing. If it is allowed, we can do. Otherwise, then we have to use another method. What is the method? Whatever the presence in between the electrons and ions, that can be swept by external means. The sweeping the ionized particles away and replace them by unionized particles. The officer who is that person is unable to do the work, then we have to transfer that person and we have to replace another person. So we can do our works similar to this analysis. Okay. So now we can see that in this method what we are going to do. So one is whatever the ionized particles in between the two electrodes, that is the ionized particles is nothing but electrons and ions, protons, that should be converted into the neutral molecules which are unable to participate in reaction, production of arc. That thing. Once it is done, okay. Otherwise, what are the ionized particles presents, that electrons and ions, that should be removed by new molecules, new unionized particles in between the electrodes. So what will happen? So once again it is a act as a big what do you call this one, depletion layer. It becomes a strong depletion layer to avoid the entering of the electrons, and the voltage, whatever the voltage persists, unable to ionize this gas at this moment. So this is the thing you have to remember. Now, so let us see, that is causing the ionized. So here you can see the analysis, simple analysis. What we are going to do here, the causing the ionized particle in the space between the contacts to recombine into the neutral molecules. How we are going to do? At zero crossing period, at a nap time, at whenever it is a sleeping. So now we are going to do the works. Now what we are going to, the ionized particles are responsible to carry current and reducing the dielectric strength of the medium. These are the main reasons. Whatever the dielectric media, that dielectric strength is decreasing due to this high voltage present in between the two electrodes. So next, when ionized particles are recombined, the dielectric strength of the medium increases. Once the enemies are go away, then we are going to get the more energy. That means here you can see the figure. Here these are the ionized particles. Positive ions, negative ions formed due to the voltage raised between the two electrodes, rate of rise of voltage. Due to this one, sudden chopping up current carrying path. This positive, you can see the positive and negative ionized charged particles. So it has a low resistance in ohms, very low resistance. Then once ionized having the low resistance, it acts as a very good conductor, and through which whatever the fault current, short circuit current try to flow. So then what to do? So we forcefully move to the neutral particles, where the systematic particles. Once the neutral particles becomes, so there is no participation of these active particles, then what will happen? Once it is converted to the neutral molecules, then resistance of this one, the dielectric media, increased very high. If the resistance increased, it opposes the flow of current through it, that is a short circuit current. So this can be done in this method. Now what to do in the second method? In second one, if it is now it is converted, okay. Otherwise, the next is the sweeping the ionized particle away, reduce them by unionized particle. Here you can see this figure. If the ionized particles of the medium between the contacts are replaced with a fresh particles, the dielectric strength of the medium between the contact is increased. Here you can see this, whatever the ions present in red color, so already the ionized particles, it has a very less dielectric strength. This less dielectric strength particles cannot oppose the current, short circuit current which is flowing through it. So arc is persist for time. So during this period, at zero crossing period, if you are ready to, whatever these weak particles, the ionized particles is removed and entered with fresh deionized particles into the chamber, then automatically the arc will quench. So that is a thing we are going to do. Therefore, the arc fails to restrike and flow of the current is interrupted. These are the things we are going to do. Now, so once again, so what we have studied, recollect. So deionization of the medium. So whenever we are opened, the voltage developed between the small gap of the fixed contact and moving contact. Then what will happen? Voltage developed, rate of rise of voltage developed. That voltage reduces the the breakdown of the dielectric strength of the media between the two electrodes. Once dielectric strength decreases, through which resistance decreases the whatever the gas between this one. If the resistance reduces, the current will try to flow this one, and the arc is continuous. So our aim is to whatever the deionized particles, its strength, dielectric strength should be increased by different methods. Now how we are going to deionization of medium, how we are going to replace ionized particle with a deionization. The deionization of the medium can be achieved by different methods. You can see here, one is a lengthening of the gap. So fixed rod and moving rod gap we are going to increase. High pressure, so pressuring this one we are going to get the molecules resistance will increase. And cooling, by cooling also we are going to get the resistance of the arc medium increases. Next, the blast effect, by puffing suddenly we are going to increase the resistance of the medium. Let us see. So deionization medium can be achieved by lengthening of the gap. So dielectric strength, you can see the dielectric strength of the medium can be increased by increasing the length of the gap between the contacts. Already we have seen. So here by lengthening we are going to, what is happening? So increasing the length. So the gap contacts, so dielectric strength also increases. If it increases the length, dielectric strength also increases. High pressure, so more the pressure of the medium between the contacts, higher the density of the particles. The pressure is more, the density of the particles is a very high. So density particles, due to these density particles try to oppose the flow of short circuit current. So automatically, so that can be decreases. Now the increased density of the particles causes a higher rate of deionization, and the dielectric strength of medium between the contacts increases. This you can see by pressuring the outside gases forces, so deionization takes place very rapidly. Now cooling, the cooling causes ionized particles in the space between the contacts to recombine into the neutral molecules. So here they increase the dielectric strength of the medium. Our aim is to increase the dielectric strength of the medium. By cooling, what is happening here? So by cooling this one, the contacts are recombined to the neutral molecules. Whatever the active particles, so electrons and photons combined into the neutral molecules, then there is no active particles to continue its agitation, that is the arc. So here you are going to use the cooling also. Now blast furnace. So how we are going to cooling? By splitting. So lengthening we are going to cooling that one. The blast effect. In this process, the ionized particles between the contacts are swept away and replaced by the fresh ionized. By puffing, we are going to get these particles. This increases the dielectric strength of the medium and the arc fails to strike. You can see unionized particle enter, ionized particle. Ionized particle is the low resistance particles. Unionized particles are high resistance particles. We have to fill with the high resistance particles to avoid the arc. Now let us see here. So what we have now. So let us see, summarize what we have seen in this class. So after completion of this period, we have learnt about one is the method of arc extinction, high resistance method, low resistance method. So here, so what we have learned, these methods are known. How we are going to reduce the, how we are going to reduce the arc or nullify the arc or quench the arc by different methods. Our aim is to whatever the voltage present between the two contacts, moving contacts and fixed contact, that voltage should be unable to ionize the particles between the contacts. That is the one thing we are going to do. Next, whatever the ionized particles between the two contacts, that resistance should be increased by different methods. So by doing these two methods, we are going to nullify the arc very quickly. So by lengthening, by cooling, by splitting, by different method, forcing and blasting, different methods are used in different applications. So based on this theory, so we have to learn how these are implemented in oil circuit breakers, in vacuum circuit breakers, and air blast circuit breakers, and finally SFC circuit breakers we can see in details. I think you have some idea how the arc is raised, how we are going to nullify the arc, what are the different theorems, and how they are useful to quench the arc. Thank you for listening.